Okay, great. Alright, the Gaia Knight Master Duel Deck profile has been finished. I don't need to do anything now. Wait a minute. I still have yet to record a video for Friday. Okie dokie, just like I alluded to last video, we're going to be doing a Crusadia deck profile. So, without further ado, let's jump on in. So first, we play 3 Crusadia Maximus. Now, Maximus is basically the thing that enables us to OTK, but first let us go through its shared ability that all the main deck Crusadia monsters have, which is you get to special summon this card to a zone a link monster points to in defense position. Those are all hard ones per turn, so if you have 2, you're stuck with only activating it once. Now with this one's specific effect, he let us target a Crusadian Link monster and double the battle damage it does to an opponent's monster. So basically when your Crusadian Link monster battles an opponent's monster, you inflict double that damage. It cannot work if it's just attacking directly, it does not do that. But moving on, we have 3 Crusadia Draco. Crusadia Draco has its, the shared effect, and its second effect is we get to target a Crusadia monster in our graveyard, except Draco, and add it to our hand. So basically when you use one to normal, you get it back and continue extending. Then, we play not 1, not 2, but 3 Crusadia Leo. Now, a lot of people like to play this card at 2, which is understandable. However, since Pot of Desires has went to 1, I recommend people to play 3 because you're now playing it not just for its actual effect, but also the fact that it is a name that you get to use to link off. Its actual effect is we get to target a Crusadia Link monster that we control, and it does piercing damage. Point blank and simple. Then we play probably one of the arguably the best or second best main deck Crusadia monster, 3 Crusadia Arbor. Now Crusadia Arbor has a similar effect, but its other effect is you get to banish this card from your field or graveyard if a Crusadia monster would be destroyed by battle or card effect. So it's basically a Salamangreat Almirage, but for Crusadians. Then we play 3 Crusadia Recluse. I'm pretty sure that's how you say it properly. So Recluse's effect is when this card is special summoned to a zone a link monster points to, you get to target a Crusadia card and then target a card on your opponent's field and destroy them both. Typically, when you have Recluse and Arbor, it's basically a free pop. But this is a going second deck, and we still have one more honorary Crusadia monster to go through. So, we have 1 World Legacy World Crown. You could basically be special summoned to a zone a link monster points to. And yeah, it has a second effect where you get to it's a Thunder King. It's basically a Thunder King Ryo, if I remember correctly. If a monster special summoned from the extra monster zone, you get to tribute this card and negate that summon. Yep. And then basically, if this normal or set card is tribute, you get to add a World Legacy spell or trap from your deck to your hand. We're not going to primarily be using those other 2 effects. We're mainly trying just to OTK, but hey, it is what it is. Now, let us continue on our other extender. 2 Parallel XZs. Now, the reasons why we're playing 2 Parallel XZs and not 3 is just because I cut the third one for space primarily. I wanted to play 3, but I cut 2 mainly for space, and you know what? I think it's fine at this ratio. If you want to play 3, you're more than welcome to cut down on a Leo and play the third one. If you do not know what Parallel Exceed does, is basically when a Link monster is special summoned, you get to special summon this card to a Link monster it points to. If this card is special summoned, you get to special summon another Parallel Exceeds from the deck. Yeah, just summon another one. If it's normal or special, if I remember it to be precise. However, you're always going to special summon it. And its other effect, which does matter, its attack and defense, it becomes half of its original. So basically when a Crusadia Link monster points to it only gains 1,000. And we'll get there to the second. So we got a couple of hand traps. We play 3 Ash Blossom and Joyous Spring. It's Ash Blossom. It's a good card. It helps us get there. You know, it is what it is. You know. Then we play 2 Ghost Ogres. Now the reasons why we're playing 2 Ghost Ogres and not 3 Ghost Ogres is quite simply, just the very simple reason is I don't have a third. I don't have a third, and in testing for a third, I found that you know what? I like some other cards better. I think it's good at 2. If you play 3 at Telly, you can play 3 at Telly. I'll tell you what to cut. And then for our final hand trap, we play 3 Effect Veilers. Why Effect Veilers and not Imperms? Because I like being cheap. Point blank and simple. I just like being cheap. And now, for probably the bread and butter, or the thing that I really like this deck that helps us OTK, is we play Kaijus. We play 4 Kaijus to be precise. We play 2 Thunder King Kaijus, and then 2 Gamma Seals. Now the reasons why I like 4 is just because the number checks out half the time. I tried running 3 and 3, realizing that I saw too many times I would have 2 Kaijus when in reality I'd only need 1. So I figured that this number was good. Most of the time I'd want this in my hand for, you know, when I have both of these, that's great. However, these 2 can clog, because if you have 2 and really nothing else, then at best case scenarios you tribute over your opponent's monster, and then you summon the other one and beat over it. It's okay. You can do much better. But that is it for the main deck monsters. Let's move on to the spells, and we'll start with the Crusadia spells, because we only have 3 Crusadia spells. We play 3, we play 3 Crusadia spells in total. We play 2 Crusadia Testaments, which is a ridiculous fucking card, but it is locked into Crusadias. So the first effect is your opponent cannot activate cards or effects in response to the activation of your Crusadia monster effects. Basically, when you activate this, it guarantees that you don't get ashed, you don't get ogred, you don't get veilered, you don't get imperm, they don't negate it with the Borload Savage. However, they can do something at the resolution of it, so you hate to see it. And the second effect is, after damage calculations, if a Crusadia Link monster destroys an opponent's monster by battle, draw equal to that monster's Link rating. So this is either a +1, a +2, or just a 1-for-1, depending on the situation. Typically, it's going to be a +2. And I really like it at 2, because it is searchable, so that means we don't need to fetch it half the time, but, you know, it is what it is. And for our final Crusadia spell card, we play 1 Crusadia Revival. This card helps us OTK, but I cannot stand at anything but 1. What it does is all Crusadia Link monsters on the field gain 500 attack. Once per turn, you can target a Crusadia Link monster you control. This turn, even if this card leaves the field, it can attack all your opponent's monsters. Also, other monsters you control cannot attack. So, you know, you're kind of putting all your eggs in one basket, but it literally helps us OTK. You can't really complain. Moving on, we play 1 Pot of Desires, because we need that draw power and that consistency. And then we play 1 Reinforcements of the Army, because Arboreus is a warrior. We need all the consistency boost that we get. But speaking of consistency boost, because we basically hard lose to someone flipping up a pink card, we play some main deck pink card hate, you know? Eldritch is running around, Fogblade's hurt, it is what it is. So we play 3 Cosmic Cyclones. Now, why are we playing 3 Cosmic Cyclones? And why are we not playing something like Harpy's Feather Duster? It's simply because of the Heavenly Prison Rock dude. It literally doesn't let us blow up our opponent's cards like back row, so, you know, it is what it is. Moving on, we actually only have 2 trap cards. So plain and simple. We have one Crusadia Crawler, and just in case if our opponent makes us go first, we can do something. And then we have one red Reboot, because when they flip up Judgment, we can guarantee an OTK, even if we have to pay half our life. And that is it for the main deck cards. Let us move on to the extra deck. So first, let's start off with the XYZ monsters, because yes, we do play XYZ. Thanks to Parallel Exceeds, it allows us to have some turn 1 plays. We only play 3. We play one Dagaris, the Timeless. What Dagaris does is it requires 2 level 4 monsters, and it has 3 effects. You have to detach 2 to use any of them. So you can't be cheeky and try to detach 1 for the effect. No, it is 2. So we can either, we skip our next draw phase and we get to draw 2 cards and discard 2 cards. We can skip our main phase and special summon a monster from our graveyard in defense. Or we can skip our battle phase of the next turn. This effect is going to come up more often, and double the attack of 1 monster you control until the end of turn. Basically, if we have Parallel Exceeds and Maximus, that equal max is going in big. And then we play one Abyss Dweller. Graveyard decks are running around in the format, and Abyss Dweller just shits on them. Point blank and simple. However, a thing to note is Dagaris does detach 2, and Abyss will probably only have 1. So let's use the poor man Zeus. 1 Drill Driver Vesperado. Basically, Vesperado is going to help us overlay on top of the Dagaris to give an equal max even more attack. It's basically just here to give us more attack, to be quite frank. And that is it for the XYZ. It's time to move on to the extra deck. Now, we play a fair amount of Crusadia monsters in the extra deck. So before we get into that, let's go over the 3 cards in the extra deck that we... Actually, no. Let's start with the Crusadia monsters. We play 3 Crusadia Magius. Crusadia Magius gains basically the shared effect of all the Link monsters is gain attack equal to the combined original attack of all monsters this card points to. And those cards cannot attack. So, you know, it is what it is. Not a big deal. Basically, these things get bigger depending on what they're pointed to. What Magius does is if an effect monster is special summoned to this zone, except during the damage step, you can add 1 Crusadia monster from your deck to your hand. So this is our Stratos, this is the Rodel, whatever you want to call it. It's good, it's clean. Then for our Link 2 Crusadias, we play 2 Crusadia Reculex, and then 1 Crusadia Spatha. And the reasons why we play 2 Reculex and not 3 is because Reculex will let us search these spells. Basically, what an effect monster special summon to a Link zone that this Link monster points to, we get to add a Crusadia spell. Now, the reasons why we're playing 1 Spatha, although Guard Dragon isn't really a deck anymore, it lets us make an Appaloosa. Admittedly, it's not on the 5th summon, but, you know, you gotta take what you can get. You guys know what I mean? Basically, it is if a effect monster is special summoned to a zone that this card points to, except during the damage step, you can target 1 monster in either player's main monster zone, except this card, and move it to another zone it controls too. So basically, we go make Spatha, special summon another Crusadia, move the Crusadia, special another one. Hey, look, a 3 material Appaloosa, crazy. It does come up. It is really funny. It's cute at best, but it lets us do something. So, moving on, we play 2 Crusadia Equalmax and then 1 Crusadium Knight Crusadium Abramax. A mouthful of a name. So, Crusadia Equalmax gains the original attack of all cards it points to. This monsters this card points to cannot attack. So, typical effect that it has. Abram, I believe, is the only one who actually doesn't share that effect. Yep. Abram does not share that effect, but we will get to Abram in a hot second. Alright, Crusadia Equalmax, you know, it does have a quick effect where you get to tribute a Crusadia or legacy card, monster that this card points to, target a card face up on your opponent's field that they control, negate it. Now this is very good because we get to tribute like an Arbor or like whatever the heck we need to basically go on in and negate something. This is normal spells, quick play spells, continuous spells, field spells, monster effects, and trap cards, except counter traps. This can't equal max can negate as long as it can negate those. So it's pretty good. And then there's Crusadia. Then there's Abramax. Oh boy. While this Link Summon monster is on the field, your opponent cannot target this card with card effects. Also, their monsters cannot be target attacked except for this one. It's basically a big, beefy boy. And then once per battle, during the damage calculations, if this card battles a special summon monster, quick effect, you get to make this monster gain attack equal to the monster's attack during the damage calculations only. And if this Link Summon card that you control is sent to the grave by your opponent's cards, you can shuffle one card on the field back into the deck. So basically, if it gets Kaiju, you get to still blop them, unless they're smart about it and just Kaiju it first and foremost. Typically, what you want to do is you want to get Abramax and another Link 4 that we play in this deck. I already spoiled it, Appaloosa. Because the other 3 non-Crusadia Link monsters is IP Masquerena, Nightmare Unicorn, and then Appaloosa the Bow Goddess. The reasons why we play IP is because IP plus Unicorn is a disruption. It's something that we can do. And then thanks to Spatha, we can make an Appaloosa. I've seen some people go Appaloosa and then make Night Crusadium Abramax. How those people have done it is wild, but it is a thing that you can do in this deck. I do hope very much you enjoyed this deck profile. There are many different ways to build... I forgot. Different ways to build Crusadias, but this is the way that I build. I am not the end-all be-all of deck creation, so if you didn't like certain things and you feel like they'd be more attuned for your meta or a little bit better, feel free to modify it down below. But in any case, guys, I have been your host, Poseidon TCG, wanting to wish you guys the best of luck in all your endeavors, and to remember to take it easy.